I have a relationship with the band's management. We've always, wanted to work with. Even just putting a song in the game was always, on the kind of wish list that we had. Metallica seemed to make perfect sense for a Guitar Hero game, obviously. So it started. I don't know if you want to say it snowballed, or I think it went from just trying to, work on a song in the game, and then evolved into, deeper and more in-depth conversations about possibly working together on a game. The management seemed to be keen to the idea. I think as far as the band's concerned, what I, in my mind, found out later, it just happened to come down to the right time for them to do something like this. They were working on an album, kind of in pre-production for an album at one point. Then they had to make an album and record a record and do all that stuff. And at the same time, we started talking about actually getting this game off the ground. So it was kind of a long process. It started with just early conversations about 1 year to 2 years ago. We've, as a music department, I run the music department at Activision, so I work on not only Guitar Hero but all Activision games, Tony Hawk, and any game that we have music in. It's come a long way on almost every game as far as dealing with the record labels and licensing music, but in Guitar Hero's case, it's certainly come I think the furthest. A couple years ago, when we started talking about putting songs in games, that we had to do a lot of almost, I guess, education is, I guess forecasting and kind of convincing people that this is a great opportunity outside of what we projected to be a good financial opportunity because it was untested. That we thought that this is a great way to get your music heard. So, 2 years ago we were explaining that to people. Now 2 years later, people have understood, and the artists themselves, the record labels, the publishers, the managers, everybody's gotten to see this direct impact that Guitar Hero can offer to a band. So in that respect, things have gotten a lot easier. When you're reaching a demographic that radio doesn't really do any longer, with radio formats shrinking and radio stations disappearing, and then MTV almost not playing music videos any longer. They're, outlets for record labels or bands are shrinking, and it's hard to set up a record and get to that demographic that you used to be able to get to so easily. Not so easily, but there were more avenues. So I think that the Guitar Hero game has become something that they take serious when they start to look at setting up an album. I think the record labels, it changed a lot for the labels and the publishers when it went from, me or my guys explaining, look, this is a great opportunity, to a couple years later when they can see direct sound scan spikes from having a song in Guitar Hero 3, when you can look at retail or digital sales, and you can see that that one placement, that one song placement, and the timing, it's pretty easy to understand that that's the one catalyst that really pushed it up the scale. There's that, after a couple games or having a couple games out and having record labels actually participate financially. So it's not so much speculation. They've actually seen the money, and they understand that there's a great opportunity for that too. So there's a couple different factors that have kind of unfolded over time that's kind of proven the formula.